Tanya started her private clutter clearing journey in May 2020 and completed it in November 2023. This means she has cleared all her clutter and created the habit she needs to stay clutter-free forever. Tanya successfully cleared 12 rooms and areas that had been completely cluttered for 36 years. As Tanya explains, during the first lockdown of the pandemic, I realised that because I spent a lot of time outside my home to avoid the clutter, I had developed what Clare calls clutter blindness. I didn't even notice my clutter, even though it was very visible in every room. Being forced to stay at home for long periods of time during the lockdowns, I started to notice the effect my clutter was having on my pets. My dogs didn't have a space that they could call their own, and they had to struggle over piles of clutter to get from one place to another. I noticed they all wanted to be close to me and snuggle up next to me on the sofa, but they couldn't because of the clutter. I know it sounds silly, but my vision of my clutter-free lounge was one where I had my open fire lit. I couldn't even see it because of the boxes of clutter piled up in front of it. The dogs curled up in their own dog beds, twitching as they had lovely doggy dreams, and the cats curled up next to me on the sofa as I relaxed, watching TV, doing some knitting, or reading a book. I may have been able to adapt to living with clutter myself, but it wasn't fair on my pets. I didn't tell any of my friends or family that I had started my journey. I knew they wouldn't understand, and I didn't need their comments or the pressure of their expectations. Like most people who don't struggle with clutter, they wouldn't understand why I couldn't just blitz it and be done with it. They certainly wouldn't have understood how Clare was able to help me without even coming to my home. I didn't need their disapproving comments. I had to do this on my own, for myself. What surprised me most was that I started my journey grateful that I wasn't starting to work on the physical clutter first, because that terrified me. Step 4, Mount Everest on the journey, is well named. I should have trusted Clare when she said it wouldn't be as scary as I thought it would be by the time I got there. But I expect, like many people who struggle with clutter, I've had so many failed attempts and terrible experiences when it comes to my clutter that I struggled to trust Clare at the start. Yet I cleared my first area in next to no time. You don't realize just how many seeds you're sowing in your mind on steps 1 to 3 of the journey. And just like Clare says, just trust that they will all germinate and grow, ready for when you need them most, when you get to step 4. When I worked out how many hours I had spent clearing my first area for each year that I had been trying to clear it, it was the equivalent of half an hour per year. Crazy! And to think in the past, I've spent hours and hours, years and years, stuck in my trying and giving up cycle. There have been 4 significant successes for me as a result of finally clearing my clutter. First, I'm able to visit friends, have holidays, because I can have a pet sitter stay in my home. All because of all the money that I've saved and continue to save as a result of controlling the accumulation of clutter, even though my income hasn't changed. Second, that vision I had of my pets in front of the fire has finally come true. I think they love our home as much as I do. Third, the look on my friends and family's face when I had my clutter-free reveal party. I had never invited anyone into my home before. They didn't believe how cluttered it was until I showed them my before photos from step 1 of the journey. And finally, I now really know that I've created the habits I need to stay clutter-free forever. You can clear your clutter fast or you can clear your clutter forever, but you can't clear your clutter forever fast. If you're ready to accept help to start dealing with your clutter, click on the link with this video and find out how I can help you get started now.